Now that you know it's podcast o'clock and you're here to join me here, what does that even mean? And you're here to join me, Amanda Elo, I'm saying welcome. Happy survival. This is My Life Continues Everyday podcast.
My life.
My life will continue every day.
My life continues every day.
Well, my life continues every day.
We move.
My life continues every day with Amanda Elo.
Micromorphosis. Probably you've heard of this term before or not. So my coach was teaching me about micromorphosis, and he said, these are little parts of your life that you never knew because you never noticed them. Maybe you were busy sulking or busy being excited or busy being too busy not to have noticed that these little events were going on in your life. And these are events that were preparing you or are preparing you for a larger change or for a change, okay? For a change. These are evolutionary processes that will get you ready for a certain stage or would lead you into a higher phase or the next phase. Let me make it simpler. You know how when you're in school, you kept teaching people, you were teaching your friends, there were these classes you held after the main class, after the main lectures, you'd hold for them lessons here and there. And what you had in mind was when you're out, you definitely work in an airport. But then look at you now. You are a tutor somewhere. Maybe you don't even need to go to a school. You're doing it online and you're making really cool cash. Now, you probably did not know that you would become a tutor in the future. Now, while you were in school, you just did this thing for the fun of it because you just felt like, I need to help people. I just need to help people. I feel like these people don't understand this one. So you teach them function of function and matrix and stuff. And you did not know that eventually you would become a tutor online or somewhere. That's what micromorphosis is. When those little things in your life produces a great evolutionary transformation. Okay? Now, why am I saying this? I'm in Lagos and I think this is a product of micromorphosis. How? While I was in Kano, that was where I served, I, for one, just was busy on WhatsApp, minding my business. And a friend reached out to me and said, hey, there's this lady I need you to talk to. She is basically going through this. Can you talk with her? Because I feel like you're in the same situation. So probably she'd understand or you'd understand her better. And I said, oh, sure. And then I started talking with this lady and she became my very good friend. We call each other sisters. Now we became sisters and we never saw each other up until this year. Now I'm coming over to Lagos because I want to do my audition. And then I reach out to this person and then she brings me. Now her friend housed me before the other friend who housed me again and then encouraged me to do a few things. And all of these things keep going round and about. And I can tell you again that podcasting wouldn't have begun if it wasn't for the place I was working at before. Why? When I was being taught how to do audio editing, it was a big deal for me because I didn't want to stress myself. I didn't want it. All I wanted to do was just take the microphone and do what I knew how to do best. But God had a serious plan for me. So what he did through these amazing people I was working with before was make sure that I learned how to use the audio editor properly. Now look at my podcast. I actually voice it, work on it, edit, produce myself, and send it out. Probably I wouldn't have this opportunity or I wouldn't be here if I had not learned that art. Do you understand? So this is me telling you that point in your life right now that might seem really confusing, do what you can and take every day as it comes, living your life every day. Because trust me, those challenges you think right now are really getting on your nerves are preparing you for something larger. And that thing in the future does not necessarily have to be a negative thing, you know. Look at it. It does not necessarily have to be a negative thing. It's something that when people are busy complaining, you would scale through and move to the next phase after that one, you know. Live your life every day. I'm coming up with the stories of the day. Let's go listen to the first story.
So, this thing happened around 2018. That was when I was still in law school. So there was this girl that we are friends at some point. We started dating. So along the line, I realized a couple of things were happening. One of which is the fact that, maybe one of her problems was the fact that maybe she had some other guys out there who were disturbing her. I don't really know, but that was actually what I was thinking. Then back then I was in law school. At some point, I was doing my youth court attachment in Oka. So when I was in Oka, I think then, we had to, once in a while, sit together, talk, go out, eat, stay together, and all that. So, but at some point, I get to understand that a couple of things were happening, which she did not want to tell me. But before now, we were perfect to each other. In fact, we were the best of friends. She took me as the best guy she had ever met. And I, felt really privileged to have her as not just my friend, but also my girlfriend. But on the long run, I noticed a couple of things were happening. At some point, she started changing her behavior. So I had to just call her, ask her what's up. She knew that I know what I was talking about. So she denied it in the first place. She just wanted to be, she wanted to be on her own and, face her studies, that she's having some emotional trauma and all that. So I told her it's fine. If you want to be on your own, can you just tell me why it is happening just all of a sudden? She was like, she's a student. She is having her exams, coming close, and that, she just wants to stay on her own. She doesn't need disturbance. So I told her, okay, no problem. If this is what you actually want, it's fine. Just explain to me why you want to do what you wanted to do. So at some point, she had to just openly told me that one guy somewhere kissed her. And maybe since then, in fact, the kiss was, kind of magical to the extent that, in fact, it made her confused. I don't really know. So that was how the whole thing started. And when she told me the guy kissed her, I don't really need to know more again. I really loved the girl, and I was reasoning, it would be perfect between myself and the girl. But when she told me her stories, and she was, brave enough to have opened up. So what I did was just to tell her, okay, it's fine. This is what you want. I think I have to give you some space so that you just stay on your own and then solve your own problems on your own, because it was actually a her problem, not, a me problem. So I just told her she should just take good care of herself and then move on with life. That was one of the hardest decisions I had to take, because I really loved this girl. And in the circumstance, since I loved her, I had to allow her go. I can't just force myself on her, and I can't just force her to, change her decisions. Maybe because I was about writing my professional exam, so that I don't get heartbroken. In fact, already I was heartbroken. So it was kind of a crazy something for me. It was crazy for me. It was very hard for me, but I had to just move on. I told myself that there's nothing I could have done if not, to move on. So when I went back to school, this thing was happening 2-3 weeks to our bar finals. This thing happened. So you could imagine me trying to get myself focused, trying to read to prepare for my professional exams, and then at the same time to forget about my past with her. So it was really a very daunting task. But at the end of the day, as luck would have it, I passed my bar final without any problem. I was called to the bar. Every other thing I was meant to do, I did them. And with time, the injuries in my heart towards her, the injuries I had towards her, like my past with her, at some point I had to just forget them and move on. It was one of those things that happened to me in life that at some point I felt like, is it not better to go back to her instead of staying on my own and then feeling this kind of heartbreak? I told myself, no, I have to leave. That's the only thing I could do. And as it stands, I'm okay now. I really believed I could be on my own and be okay. And it happened to me. So I'm also telling, friends out there that no matter whatever thing that is happening, come on. It's something that people go through. It's not something that people stay in. You get? So, and it helped me. I wasn't just going through it, I was growing through it. So I think it helped me, it made me stronger. So to the listeners out there, you could imagine something that is happening to me when I was about writing my bar finals. Weeks to my writing my bar finals, not months, so not even up to a month, but so if I could survive in this situation, any other person in this life can survive. That is all I have to say. Thank you.
This story is coming from somebody who had his bar exams. Now, if you've been to law school, you'd understand with me what this period can be like. This phase is a tough one for them. For him to get this breakup before his examination, it must really have been a tough one. But I'm glad his life continued every day. He's a lawyer right now. He's a practicing lawyer, and I can tell you he is doing well. The next story comes up. Now, this is a story of somebody who was actually depressed by his academic setbacks. He's a web designer now. I know him. So actually, he's doing well by God's grace. But let's listen to his story.
Hi guys, I'm making this recording specifically for my Life Continues series hosted by Amanda Ilo. I want to share with you a small part of my life where I was kind of depressed. I don't really want to use the word depression because I believe depression it's a big deal. But then I believe that at this point in my life, I was very close to something that looks like depression. So you can call it depression. Hell, you might be right, but I don't want to call it depression. But I knew that I felt like a mess at that point in my life. So that was basically my 200/300 level in the university. Yeah, good. Ooh, okay. So I applied for engineering. I got it, chemical engineering. Yeah. But 100 level results were good. 200 level first semester was cool, though I had a couple of self-doubts if I was going to be able to do this, but my first semester was good. So great. Second semester was harder. Yeah, my results were messy. It was messy. You know the perfect recipe for disaster in the university: self-doubt plus terrible results. You're always going to ask yourself, will you be able to do this? And this was what happened to me. Fast forward to 300 level, things got tougher. The thought of going to class every day, not understanding what the lecturer was teaching, and you do this repeatedly 5 days in a week, 4 weeks in a month. For crying out loud, how do I keep going to the same class, listening to the same set of lecturers who don't understand what I feel? Do they even care about what I feel? But that's by the way, who I don't understand what they teach. That was a very terrible period in my life. I go to class, I sit in, a lecturer comes to the class. 2 hours lecture. 15 minutes into the class, I'm off because I can't understand anything. Boy, I think this stage in my 300 level took my self-doubt to the higher level. And then I took my first test and I realized, boy, if I was going to succeed in this level, I think I was going to need something beyond. I don't want you to understand this literally, but I was going to need something beyond God's intervention, because boy, I had 5 questions on that quiz. I can still remember vividly. I had 5 questions and I wasn't able to solve even one. And unfortunately, my first semester exam wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It was hell. It was hell on earth. And at that point, I think that was when I fell down the line. I think that was when I knew hell. No, I may not be able to finish this. I may not be able to complete this course. And there was one thing my parents never wanted to hear about, that a child of theirs went to the university and came out without a certificate or dropped out. These two things they were like taboos. Oh, let's take away the word like. They were things unheard of in my family. And if I were to do that, then probably I will be the first person. And I really did not want to be the first person. But at that point in time, I knew, boy, how do I do this? Going to class every day, not understanding what these guys are saying. I come back home, I try to read on my own to understand nothing. I ask someone to help me understand, to help teach me, and still I get nothing. I wasn't really a dullard. I know I'm not a dullard, for crying out loud. I know I'm not a dullard, but this point in my life really made me feel like a dullard. I lost self-confidence, doubted myself, like to the point that I couldn't even make an appearance in public. That's how bad this period was like. Always walking in the shadows, avoiding the light. But anyway, whichever way, I thank God I was able to, I don't want to use the word outgrow, but I was able to manage with the help of my family and some of my friends, a few of my friends. I was able to navigate this bad part of my life, of my school life, and thanks to God, today I am better, results are improving, and yeah, my self-confidence is rising. Yeah, it's rising. I'd like to say it's on a high, but who knows? You never can tell if it can get higher than it is currently today. But yeah, it's rising. Good. All thanks to God, my family, and a few of my friends. So that has happened. It has happened. Bad patch of my life in school, but either ways, whatever happens, my life continues, and I believe things will get better and better and better and better from here. So it's all right if you're feeling like this. If you're in the university listening to this, it's all right. Everyone gets through, always has that patch. But whatever happens, your life will continue, and you make the best of it. Gracias.
I know this person, and the thing is, when he was going through this, I was in my finals, so I didn't notice. I did not notice. I don't know. I just know he's a friend. He was just calm and stuff, but I just felt it was because he had other things he was handling at the time, and it was, and I just didn't know this was it. So sometimes if you see your friend, probably if you see someone, just be nice. Be kind to every person you meet, because you just do not know their personal struggle. But then in everything, you going through that situation, that problem, may you understand that it will always get better. But you, please, hang in there. Do not lose hope. Keep the faith and keep the hope alive. Work towards what you want to achieve. There is always a room for good news. Till we meet again, I am Amanda Elo, and this is My Life Continues Every Day. And till the next podcast, may God bless you and may His angels protect you.
I'm living a good life, no stress and no strife. Every day I keep moving up, Monday to Sunday, steady balling. If I'm a cannabis, one nature, one I am a winner.